Hello guys, SkyPikmin here. Today I'm starting a new series of videos that I call the Analyst Desk. In this series, I will try to preview the races that will happen in the Manufacturers Series Championship this year. So each video will feature three main parts. The first one will be the race settings analysis, then the track map, and then the tier list for the cars that I will explain a bit later on this video. First of all, I wanted to say that I'll probably be not competing this year in the championship for personal reasons, but I will still enjoy watching and analyzing the stuff that the guys do and the races. And I also wanted to apologize for my English because that's not my primary language, and I'll do my best to not make any mistake, but feel free to correct me in the comments if needed. So let's start with next race of the Manufacturer series, which is Autopolis. So the race settings. First, we will analyze the race settings, and we will also try to learn from them. So how the race is likely to go according to the settings. So first of all, this is a Group 4 race. We all know that Group 4 is made of very different cars, different weights, powers. So pretty much the most, I would say, unbalanced class of the two between Group 4 and Group 3. So some cars will obviously have advantages on some tracks and be worse on other tracks. Then the race will be 8 laps long. That's not very long, so that could probably lead to more aggressive stuff during the race, and you should be prepared for that. Then the slipstream will be real, as always in the Manufacturer series. Damage will be light, which means that if you get some damage, it will repair itself over time. Tires allowed are racing hards and racing mediums, that is to say the two hardest components of the racing tires. The balance is obviously on. The start type is a rolling start, and I'm not sure they will do standing starts anymore, but we'll see in the future. The fuel consumption is time 4, which is pretty low, so you shouldn't be refueling in the race. And the tire wear is times 15. That means a lot because that's probably the setting that we will use the most to learn from the settings. That is to say that with Group 4 being so made of different cars, some will use the tire well less than some others. So, for example, if you're in a Toyota or in an Alfa Romeo, you can probably non-stop the race with the mediums, I would say. But if you are driving one of the bigger car like the Lexus or the Ford Mustang, then it should be hard and you need to know some techniques to save the tires. So to save the tires in those cars, I would recommend braking a little bit earlier, but not braking as much as you would do. Never really go 100% on braking for every corner. Sorry, and you should be able to save your tires, avoid sliding as much as you can, and that's pretty much all you can do. Um, then we'll analyze the track. So the track is the Autopolis racetrack. You can see I did some highlighting of some parts of the track. So in red you can see the most uh, used overtaking spots, I would say, pretty much after every long straight. Then in yellow I highlighted the engine part of the track, that is to say where the big cars with a big engine will have the advantage because it's pretty much a straight line. And then in black I left the parts that are more likely to advantage the lightweight and more handling cars. So, for example, let's compare, for example, a Lexus and a Toyota. The Lexus will be faster on the yellow parts, and the 86 will be faster on the black parts. That is pretty much pretty simple to understand. But I'd say the best thing to do in the manufacturer series is to know how to use your car at its I would say at its max potential. So, for example, if you're driving a Mustang or a Lexus or a Jaguar, um, you should try to always be in front before the little tight parts, tight corners, because even if the Toyotas and Alfa Romeos are faster than you in those spots, it'll be very hard for them to overtake you because your car is wide. And yeah, if you don't make mistake and you don't miss an apex or two, then it should be pretty hard for them to overtake. And on the straight, they can't compete because of your engine. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Autopolis track. Just I would say be careful on the last sector because it's really easy to make mistakes. Also on some really fast corners that you probably think you can go flat out, but with the tire wear you will soon realize that you can't. And then yeah, try to just be careful on those overtaking spots because there are the parts where someone is likely to try a move on you. So watch in your mirrors to see if there is someone really close because he'll probably try and overtake, and so adapt your defense to respond to his move. Finally, I will show you the tier list for this race. So that's something that I saw for a lot of other games, but never for a racing game, I would say. I mean, everyone knows which car is likely to be faster than another on a given track, but I try to do this for every race. So for Autopolis, I would say that the best cars will be the Alfa Romeos and the Toyotas in race, because that doesn't mean they will outqualify you, and that's probably your best chance to beat them, outqualifying them, and then save your tires as much as you can. But yeah, it'd probably be very hard to beat them since they will probably do medium non-stop. Then on the A tier, I put the Lexus, Jaguar, and Hyundai. Keep in mind that I don't put every brand on this list. That's just to give you an idea if your car is if your car, I mean, for example, if you drive the Lexus, you can uh, relate it to the Mustang, for example, because it's the same kind of car, I would say. Um, so I've put them in the A tier because Lexus and Jaguar have a good straight line speed. Their problem is the tire wear, obviously. And I've put the Hyundai here because it's a very balanced car uh, that can probably outqualify the Toyotas and Alfa Romeos, but will struggle again with the tires against them. And it's faster than the Jaguar, Lexus, Mustangs in the corners, but it's slower on straights. So yeah, that's a more balanced car. And then in the B tier, that is to say the cars that are likely to perform quite bad on this race. I've put Subaru, Mazda, Nissan, and Chevrolet because uh, the Subaru, Nissan, and Mazda are four-wheel drive cars. So maybe you can be fast on one lap. That's not the point of this list. But on the race, you will struggle with the tires, and you will struggle more than the big front front engined car. Sorry. So yeah, it will be hard for you if you're driving one of these three cars, but depending on your skill and on your level in the game, you can still have a decent result, but it will be harder than if you are driving an Alpha or a Toyota. And the Chevy, I've put it here because it's quite a heavy car, and yeah, the tires are really hard to manage with this car. So yeah, that's why it's in the B tier for this track. So it will be the end of this first video. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I probably try to review one of the races if I got a good replay. So if I can review one race, I will try to explain you everything that happens and the moves of some of the driver that I will choose to focus on. So yep, that's the end of this first video, and I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed preparing all that stuff. And yep, see you in the next one.